What's going on, everybody? It's WebsterStyle, Brian Sapph with another edition of the NRW Checkpoint. Brian, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's been a good day so far.
Good.
It's always fun. Let's talk about some games. We got some highly anticipated games this week. Some games that are re-releases. It's a mixed bag this week, actually. So let's get into it. First up, we have Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, not to be confused with the Jimmy Stewart movie. It's coming out for PS5, Xbox Series systems, Switch, and PC. I'm always curious as to if a game comes out on the Switch, why is there not a version for the PS4 and the for the PS4 and the Xbox One? Because I really feel like, is there going to be a humongous graphical difference between the Switch versions, especially for a game like this? It's like, yeah, you could have easily put out a port for in the Xbox One and just had to be backwards compatible and call it a day, at least.
Definitely.
But that's my opinion. It's a simulation. It's from Xseed as the developer and Marvelous Games as the publisher. Put down your own new farm. Put down roots on your own new farm in the peaceful town of Forgotten Valley. Forge precious memories as you weave your own generation-spanning tale of friendship, family, and farming. Bring life to the land by cultivating crops and raising animals. Find love among the town's friendly folk and make lasting memories with a family of your very own in this reimagining of a beloved farming classic.
Okay. I didn't know about this game. It's a remake.
Yes. I think it was on the DS, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, from my understanding. Okay.
So the only farming games I'm used to is Harvest Moon.
Right.
So, and that's kind of got a similar premise. So I may be interested.
Okay. Yeah, this is a game I will have a hard pass on.
You don't do the farming games?
No. Animal Crossing, I just never became interested. When I tried, it's like, this is boring. I can't do it.
Listen, I understand. It's definitely it's one of those, like, just to pass the time, kind of relax, not super intentional kind of situations.
Right. Understood. Next up, we have something that's a bit more exciting. Well, a lot more exciting as far as I'm concerned. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, Fight Forever. And this is out on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch, and PC. And we are watching the trailers for this one. Sports game, aka wrestling, from developer Ukes and publisher THQ Nordic. Developed by Ukes, creators of numerous multi-million unit selling wrestling games, AEW Fight Forever combines the nostalgic arcade wrestling feel with innovative All Elite Wrestling finishers and tandem offensive moves. All Elite Wrestling is currently taking TNT and TBS networks by storm every week with their Rampage and Dynamite shows. Before this, there was no Collision, but I'll add Collision into that as well, which is now airing on Saturdays, featuring some of the biggest legends to enter the ring, plus a stable of brand new high-flying AEW talent. AEW Fight Forever brings the best of the best from the talent roster together in one game. Online co-op wrestling is going completely next level in Fight Forever with tag team matches that feature sequences of tag team maneuvers performed by simple commands, a deep career mode, wrestler customization, signature AEW arenas, and more match types than you can count, including some good old-fashioned unsanctioned fun. All await.
Okay. Sound like a good old-fashioned wrestling game.
Yep, a good old-fashioned wrestling. That's what they built it as, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it's really like.
Cool.
Next up, we have the Lara Croft collection on the Switch. Now, Brian, are you familiar with the Lara Croft games? Not Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
No, yeah, definitely Lara Croft. Yeah. I know the difference. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So you definitely know where I'm coming from with this one. Action game from developer Crystal Dynamics and publisher Feral Interactive, but I'm surprised that they're the publisher, but oh well. Penetrate dense jungles and navigate elaborate Aztec ruins in Lara Croft and the Garden of Light, and investigate the cursed tombs of ancient pharaohs in Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. Blast through hordes of supernatural foes, overcome intricate challenge tombs, and beat high scores, and equip yourself with a massive arsenal of unlockable weapons, equipment, and magical artifacts. I am surprised this is just making it to the Switch.
Well, why? Well, I guess, yeah.
Well, these games came out
for a while, yeah.
360 and PS3 era.
Yeah.
Like, so they've been out for a while. These seem like the sort of games that would have been ripe for porting to the Switch early on, not 8 years later from the initial release. But yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed. I think I have one of the two. I don't remember which one I've enjoyed playing it, but this is something I am, and I know it's probably a totally different developer, but this would have been a good packet, making a 3-pack. You have these, but also they pack in Tomb Raider Go, the mobile game. The sort of, when everything was like that mobile puzzle adventure game sort of thing, you get to a level and you solve the puzzle and you go to the next one. That would have been a good mix for this game package, in my opinion.
No, I can definitely see that.
Especially on the Switch.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, that would be perfect for something with the Switch's capability.
Yeah.
Probably, I feel like I seen somewhere they doing something new with Lara Croft. Something's coming up. So I feel like this is probably why they just like, oh yeah, let's put it on the Switch or whatever. Just get a couple extra dollars.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But these games are always kind of fun, so it fits on the Switch. Like
it really does.
So it really should have been there earlier. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Crime O'Clock, Switch and PC. We're watching trailer for as a puzzle game from developer Bad Seed and publisher Just for Games. Crime O'Clock is an investigation and time exploration game with a deep storyline. Investigate cases through time and evolving maps by unraveling a multi-eras linked story. Will you be observant enough to solve the mysteries? Crime waits for no man. And just from the description alone, I'm like, oh, we have to watch this trailer. This is
right. Crime waits for no man. I'm interested.
Right.
And this is a puzzle game. Okay.
Next up, if there was an example of cash grab shovelware in a dictionary, this would probably be there. But this is, I'm assuming, probably the game no Switch owner asked for, but Nintendo's like, hey, let's make a full game out of this. It is Everybody Want to Switch, the party game coming as a full-fledged release from Nintendo. Everybody Want to Switch is your chance to elevate your next friend hangout, birthday party, family holiday gathering, or whatever else people in your life gather to have fun. Simply grab some Joy-Con controllers or compatible smart devices to play team-based games that are easy to set up with the help of your horse. Say that 5 times fast. Party sizes from 2 to 8 people in Joy-Con mode, or even up to 100 in smart device mode. Yes, 100 people, horses not included. Enjoy the multiplayer excitement. Now, I will say this. This is a novel idea, and I believe the smart devices, it's taken a play from the Jackbox games with the smartphone-enabled play, which is very smart as far as I'm concerned. This is reminiscent of sort of the games they did for the Wii and how they tried to position.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is probably their attempt to kind of like bring back the whole family element to Nintendo Switch, because there's a stark contrast there. Like the Switch is a little bit more all encompassing. There's plenty of games on there for multiple age ranges and groups and all other stuff like that. They even getting into, the little bit more, for mature side of the games. But whereas the Wii, it was like out the gate, like as soon as they were promoting, they was like, oh, you can get Wii U Sports and play bowling and do tennis and all this other stuff. So I feel like this is their way of trying to like bridge the gap, especially with the conversations they've been having recently about their next console that's supposed to come out. I feel like they want to make sure they wrote back in that family structure, because that's really what saved Nintendo. When the Wii came out and it was like you could create your own, what do they call those things? Your own,
the Mii's.
Yeah, you create your own Mii, and you know, bowl, which is always fun. Tennis, I think boxing was in there. Yeah,
boxing,
like
golf,
yeah. So I think, especially with the controllers, because they're nothing but like updated versions of the
pretty
like
much,
wireless. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, it does seem like a little cash grabby, because there's so many party games now for Switch specifically, like only on Switch. But I think this will do well, especially if they were. Well, no, they has a price tag on this, right?
It's $39.99 if I remember correctly.
They would have made it, you know, free or something that's you know a little bit lot cheaper, not a little bit, a lot cheaper. But I'm gonna probably get this, because there's room for that, at least for me anyway, because you can create your own Mii's on the Switch, but they don't really have a purpose other than representing you. You can't upload pictures or whatever for safety reasons. That makes sense, like selfies and stuff like that. So they don't really have a purpose other than like being on your Switch looking back at you. So I think this would be cool. Yeah.
All right. I will see. I'll reserve my judgment. I'll put it that way.
I'm just ready to bowl again. I want another. The golf game was fun. I just want those games back.
Didn't they do that though? The sports resort, they brought that back out, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure. If they did, I missed it.
Yeah, I know they brought out a sports game. I'm not sure if those things were there. I know golf was there, but yeah, definitely. Check it out. Yeah, because I know they brought out a sports game maybe like last year.
Okay. All right.
It might have been one of those issues where it was woefully incomplete and they added stuff to download, which is what a lot of people have been doing lately.
Hate it.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have a game that should be completely on the disc, since it's a remaster of a DS game, or disc or cartridge, I should say. At least for the Switch. The other systems is coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I'm assuming this is probably a digital-only title, but it is Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective adventure game from Capcom. Bang! A single bullet rings out in the Dark City. But as one life ends, the story is just getting started. Cecil wakes up as a ghost and realizes he has lost his memory along with his life. Now, if he lost his memory, how does he remember he's alive?
Come on. Because why? Because it needs to make sense in order for it to be a synopsis.
Right. Okay, let me continue.
Right.
Who am I? Who killed me? And why? With only a few hours until sunrise and oblivion to uncover the hours and answers, Sizzle must solve the mystery of his own murder, starting with a detective who may have witnessed a crime. Using the powers of the dead, you can possess and manipulate objects and even rewind time as you work to solve brain-teasing puzzles and a story chock full of cheeky, quirky humor and charming characters in this HD remaster of the DS classic. Now, if he can rewind time, is Dawn really that much of a worry? If you like, I got a few minutes, I need to go back a few minutes, go back a few minutes.
Well, you know these game mechanics. No, you asking solid questions. I think with these game mechanics, there'll probably be some kind of limitation as to how far back you can rewind time. Like maybe they'll just give you a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go all the way back to the next day or something like that. I don't know. But I'm still, because he could do all of this stuff, but I guess the purpose is to try to figure out who killed you. So
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Next up, we have a game with a title that's very somber and maybe very ominous, especially the way the synopsis rolls. Let's go. Right. Next up is Goodbye World on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, S, and X. And it's an adventure game from Isolation Studios as a developer and PM Studios Incorporated as the publisher. Goodbye World is a narrative adventure game. Play through 12 stages of a puzzle platformer while following the two protagonists through 13 chapters of their story. 12 stages, 13 chapters. The math ain't mathing, but okay. Programmer Kanai and graphic artist Kumaid are two friends who met in college. After graduating, they've been creating indie games together. But so far, life has been harsh. The games don't sell, and most of their time is spent working part-time jobs to make ends meet. As Kanai desperately tries to find a way to make a product that sells, Kumaid makes a decision. ... Okay. And this was released on Switch and PC last year, so it is just making it to the PlayStation and Xbox consoles. But with a title like Goodbye World, I can only imagine what decision Kumaid made.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I mean, it sounded suicidal.
Exactly.
But I will say, I'm intrigued now because I
am as well.
Right,
you talk about stories and being different and having those narratives, and that by itself, that synopsis provides an idea of a very different narrative than many of the normal games that we end up playing.
Right. So we'll see. Goodbye World. Okay.
Next up and last for the new games for this week, we have Master Detective Archives Rain Code. This is coming out for the Switch. We're watching the trailers. An adventure game from Spike Chunsoft. Master Detective Archives Rain Code is a fantasy mystery adventure game set in a rainy city lit by neon lights. It follows the trainee detective Yuma, who is haunted by the spirit Shinigami.
Okay.
But we're watching the trailer.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Understanding of that game. And first up for our trailers is the trailer for AEW Fight Forever.
AEW Fight Forever introduces ladder matches featuring Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara.
Be bold.
Sammy Guevara has one of those faces you want to see somebody punch.
I'm about to say, is he really a wrestler?
Yeah,
there he is.
You.
Coffin drop.
Do you have what it takes? To push your limits and reach new heights.
AEW Fight Forever, coming soon. Pre-order now.
Welcome to the new ladder of success.
Believe in yourself. Fight for the cause. It was written in stone.
Where it's never crowded at the top.
All right. Every trailer, every footage of gameplay I see for AEW Fight Forever, it just comes off as janky to me. And I don't mean like janky, like it looks like a horrible game. It looks like they did everything they could. This would be an okay game, but it lacks the polish that it'll probably have for the next iteration.
I was about to say it looked like a little bit more cartoonish or animated than like what I would expect, I should say. That's
what they were going for, my understanding.
Okay.
They're going back to a lot of the older, like the No Mercies from the Nintendo 64, like that sort of gameplay style. So they're not going for hyper realistic with the character depictions. They're trying to go for somewhat more of an arcadey style, but there's something about when I watch the gameplay, it just seems off. It doesn't seem horrible. It just seems off. And until I actually play the game, I won't know if like, hey, this is just the way, because sometimes when you see trailers and stuff and how frame rates are, like, it doesn't translate well when you're watching it. And it's a totally different experience when you actually play the game. Right.
Yeah, it could also be the gameplay, at least from this trailer, whatever. They're not being like, it doesn't really show like the combat system. I guess. Like, normally you can see stuff on the screen like, oh, this much, how much health I have. It's the buttons I'm supposed to press. Maybe because you're not seeing like these things transpire, like what you have to do as a player to make things happen is looking a little, but I don't know. Yeah, no, you got a point. I think you got a point with this. A lot of it's just that in-game engine and not so much actual gameplay with the user interface and everything like that. So I see what you're saying. Makes sense. Okay. All right, so that's our take on AEW Fight Forever. Next up, we have Crime O'Clock. See, going on the Switch.
Guess what? It's Crime O'Clock.
That's odd. My watch says otherwise.
I meant the puzzle exploration game. Anyway, there's no time to waste. You've got over 40 cases to solve across time and space.
But where, or I guess when, do I even begin?
Elementary, my dear Andrew. Look at your map. There are lots of eras to visit. From the Lost Age to a cybernetic future. In each era, you'll see how crime scenes develop for different time ticks.
Wait a second. Could I do something in one era and change events in another?
Exactly! By traveling through time, meeting characters, and resolving each case, the map will change and more adventures will be unlocked.
Sounds like a timeless experience. Set your alarms to Crime O'Clock when it launches on Nintendo Switch June 30th.
Okay, that's cool. But the first thing I thought of?
What's that?
That whomever owns Carmen Sandiego's license should have just been like, hey,
come on.
Can we just slap the license on this?
Yeah, and put the character in the game.
That was tailor-made to be a Carmen Sandiego game. A new Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego or something to that effect.
Yeah. What now? Now I really want to know where is Carmen Sandiego. And I haven't heard that name in a long time. I used to really love that show as a kid.
Yeah, Netflix had a cartoon series, I think came out 2-3 years ago. It's like, Netflix, they dropped like 3 seasons in a year. So it had like 2 or 3 seasons and, it went nowhere. But yeah, I don't know what company, because Borderbound was the original company. And I forget who owned them or bought their IP. But anyway, Crime O'Clock looks really cool.
It does.
I'm a sucker for not just the 2D art style, but the black and white aspect of it. And then using the color and the branching paths. It seems it's one of those games where it looks like it has infinite replay value.
I agree.
With the way they described it. So that looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I like the same things, the black and white with the colors and all this other stuff. And I don't know, I like games where it's like your decisions can either open or close certain directions in the game. So, because it does add to the replay value of it. And on top of that, it just makes the story a little bit more robust because you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this decision this time. Next time I'll make this decision and see what changes and how things happen. Because if you're going through time and it's affecting things in the past and the future, that could just be tons of fun of just playing stuff. Yeah. Exactly. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, same here. All right, next up we have a game game collection that both Brian and I are very familiar with. Let's see what you think of it if you're not already. It is the Lara Croft collection.
The collection. Nah. Yeah, that should have been on Switch a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. And, I was thinking, like, why didn't they do this for the Xbox and the PlayStation? But I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, they don't need to do it for the Xbox or the PlayStation, because I know they had versions that were specifically for the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure they have them for the PS4, which means they're both backwards compatible. So it was like no point in.
Yeah.
It'll be cheaper there, because I think the version I have of one of them was actually the 360 version. So then there's backwards compatible.
Yeah. You win the pass.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I think this is one of the smartest things they've done with the Tomb Raider series and the character of Lara Croft. One, to split and have Lara Croft games and then Tomb Raider games.
Right.
Also to explore that world even more in a different format by having these 2.5D-ish adventure games. It's funny. I saw the Black Hokage talking about this today on TikTok, talking about the new Prince of Persia game. And when he brought it up, he said it reminds me of those games that came out on like Xbox Arcade. And that instantly reminded me of the Tomb Raider of Lara Croft series, because that's exactly what those were. Those were games that we had Shadow Complex, like that. Those sort of games were really big during that era of Xbox 360 and the Xbox Live Arcade. And it's interesting that I don't know about a lot, but it seems like a lot of those prominent games are just still there. And haven't shown up on the Switch, or even we haven't gotten a lot of new games in that style, I should say. And I think that's why Prince of Persia stands out so much. But Lara Croft was definitely one of those games that I think that really put that sort of design and gameplay on the map. Since you took an established character and you put her in these different circumstances that are still very reminiscent and very much on target with what the mythos of Tomb Raider is, but you took it out of that Tomb Raider aspect where you're that third person over the shoulder view, and you got the platforming exploration, and break it down to that sort of overhead 2.5D pseudo isometric view. You change the gameplay a lot, and also make it accessible to a lot more people. And I think that's the biggest thing, which also goes back to the point of, why is this just coming to the Switch now? Like, why wasn't this there like 5 years ago? This seemed like easy money for the Switch.
And we know Nintendo, they've missed multiple opportunities to do stuff like that.
Well, it's not even Nintendo, it's Crystal Dynamics and whoever the publisher are. I mean, these are two games that have been around for years now on Xbox platforms as well as PlayStation. And the fact that we got re-releases of these on those next-gen systems at the time, I'm just surprised they wouldn't port it to Switch during that time either, at least shortly thereafter, especially since the Switch started blowing up. But I think that's what it was. I think a lot of publishers and developers, they kind of discounted the Switch a little bit, like, because if we think about it, like, this is supposed to be the successor to the Wii, and the Wii was very, very like family oriented, to the point where it was like, if you want to play a game like not regular game, if you want to play a more traditional game on there, you got to go buy a whole different Nintendo controller just to do that. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like maybe they starting to see like, oh wait, there's things here. And then obviously with the release of like games like Tears of the Kingdom and the Fire Emblem franchise is still going strong, and they talking about all these new Mario games that are coming out. I think people or publishers and developers, they're starting to see like, oh wait, the Switch is like slowly becoming like the top contender for consoles of today. Like, of course, PlayStations and Xbox will always be what they are, but
it's a different style of gameplay over here, and I think they're starting to recognize that, especially with the Steam Deck coming out, and they're starting to see like there's a little bit more room for the capabilities of handheld consoles.
Yeah,
I think they finally like getting the picture, the idea that Nintendo had for the Switch when they first put it out, and they starting to move over there, and I like that because there is this tremendous amount of potential there. And one thing about Nintendo, they're not like Xbox and PlayStation where it's like a sale every day. They like if we set a price, that's the price until we decide to drop it. So you definitely gonna get your money because Nintendo players, they are conditioned to know that the Nintendo eShop don't really do sales like that. So I think it's a good thing. I'm glad they're starting to take notice and bring their stuff over here because that Tomb Raider game, like I said, should have been there. It's perfect.
Yeah, it really is. It's just really shocking and surprising, but you know, maybe they make their coin back now. All right, last for this week, we have Master Detective Archives Rain Code,
which I'm really interested in this.
Alrighty, step right up, step right up. A whole bunch of super weird mysteries are waiting for us inside. Now, let the super fun deduction show begin. Kanai Ward, the city of unending rain, takes center stage. Some kind of freaky, creepy thing is gonna happen in town today. I'm super pumped. It's me, Shinigami! Who's gonna die tonight? Next up, it's my master!
Do I have... what was it called? Amnesia?
After waking up in a train station, the poor master of amnesia figures out he's got a job to do as a detective and heads for Kanai Ward. But bizarre things keep happening around Master! That really gets me going!
Why did this happen?
I'll be your mentor and train you to be a proper detective. This is the Mystery Labyrinth, where mysteries from the real world materialize.
So, you're saying there are traps in there?
Here comes a mystery phantom. We're gonna have to beat him if we want to get to the truth.
If I can answer that, I can solve this mystery once and for all.
After solving all mysteries and unraveling the truth, what else lies ahead? Master Detective Archives. Rain Code. Coming spring 2023.
Okay.
That was a very comprehensive trailer. I like that.
It was.
Everything you needed to know about the game, and it wasn't super duper long.
Right. Yeah, and I even, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, they kind of got the whole like Persona 5-ish kind of art style, getting a little JRPG or whatever. But then it has this whole detective element. So I'm like, oh, this might be interesting.
Yeah, it works. I like it. I'm very interested.
Yeah. Good one. And then that's coming to what? Is that a Switch game?
That's just a Switch. So
okay.
Yep. So that's it for us this week. Brian, what's going on with you, man?
I just put out a new episode of the Talk+Play blerdcast yesterday. You know, new music, the submarine that became a part of the top 10. My movie reviews, things I went to go see, the Blackening, stuff like that. And I gave my final thoughts on Summer Game Fest, as well as the Nintendo Direct that just happened, which I have the Pikmin 4 demo. I'm already starting to play through it because they did something amazing. Well, I feel like all demos should do this. Like whatever progress you make in a demo, it should transfer over to the full game.
I agree.
Yeah, totally. They were cool enough to do that for this particular game, so I'm playing through the demo first. Once I beat it, I'll be ready for July 24th, I believe, when it comes out.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, you know, nothing much really going on. Just preparing for the little holiday weekend we got coming up, and that's it. What about yourself? What you got going on?
I'm good. I'm already on holiday weekend right now. I'm celebrating.
Okay.
But,
As you should.
Episode 151 of the Saltune Geek podcast dropped. I guess the time is recording Monday. Further talking about my excitement for Star Trek Tribute Extermination we talked about a couple weeks ago. The audio version of my interview with Navia talking about Star Trek, sci-fi is there. She's 1/3 of the Sci-Fi Queens podcast. Talked about my recap of episodes 1 and 2 of the new season of Strange New Worlds, and then I gave a review of Good Man by the Fragrance Bar as a fragrance of the week. And over on YouTube, I've dropped 2 fragrance reviews. One is a review of a dupe fragrance or inspired fragrance inspired by Dior Sauvage, which is only $4.99 and is worth a lot more than what you pay for it. Doesn't smell 1-to-1 as Sauvage, but for $4.99 is pretty damn good.
Right.
And then I did a review of the new Acqua di Gio parfum, and that is amazing. That is
okay.
absolutely
Now, did you get a chance to watch Pharrell's Louis Vuitton?
No, I have to find. I have that on my list.
Okay,
like I need to go watch it. I saw like bits and pieces, but I haven't watched the show yet because I was very.
I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay,
I think you enjoy. I don't normally watch like fashion shows and the when they announce the spring lineup collections or whatever.
Right.
But it was Pharrell, and I was like, okay, cool. I like what he got going on. I saw some of the pieces or whatever, so I went because it's on YouTube. It's like 25 minutes long. I watched it. It's an amazing show. I was actually pretty entertained. Obviously the music, because Pharrell's amazing with music. But I really like his decisions with the brand, because Louis Vuitton got specific patterns and things that they just have to have, and he did some cool stuff with them. So I think you'll like it.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to check it out. It's on my list. I might do that tomorrow, actually, or tonight after we finish.
Okay.
So that's all for us this week. You're currently with Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the NRW, on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're currently on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, and of course, subscribe.